They asked me today, hey, Soph, are you going to go live as soon as the final whistle goes? Or are you going to do it after the trophy presentation?
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Arsenal fans around the world, my heart goes out to each and every single one of you. To our fans listening on Apple and Spotify, thank you for making us part of your day. Hope you're doing as well as you can after what was probably one of the worst Arsenal performances of the season. Talk about everyone having the shittiest game of their life on the same bloody day. We are here to discuss it nonetheless. We show up no matter what. At Highbury Squad, we show up. Our fans at Wembley showed up. The squaddies in chat showed up. Fans around the world showed up. Where was our team? They didn't show up. Welcome, squaddies, at ease, at ease. This is the Carabao Cup post-game show, and we all set off the day and the week with lofty dreams, lofty goals, and unfortunately, we got schooled again. Just when you think Arsenal are not the team that melts in the spotlight, just when you think Arsenal have turned a corner, that happens. So I'm going to try my best to get all of your comments up as we go. I'm going to bring Damien into the studio as well. Albert will be joining us as soon as he has wrapped his post-game show. I'm not even sure I want to start with, if you want to hit the like button, hit it for these guys and for us and for each other for showing up all season. Let me tell you something before I hand it over to the boys, because I'm not even going to start with, did you like the starting 11? No one started. I'm still waiting for the players to start the game and show up. I've had your back all season. All season I've had your back, defending you, defending the performances. Points versus performance. I don't care how we play in the final. If it comes off Gyökeres's butt, I don't even know if Gyökeres touched the ball. I don't care if it came off Havertz's nose, own goal. I said I don't care. I had your back. All season I've had your back. And you know what? I am pissed today. I'm really pissed off. I don't want to see not one of those Arsenal players on social media apologizing. I don't want to hear a peep out of them. Keep your mouths shut. We'll do the talking. We will do the talking. The fans who deserve to be heard. Because you had the opportunity today to deliver to the fans who've stood by you. It's not just me, millions around the world waiting for this moment to take the monkey off our back against Pep, against Manchester City. Kenny Ken said it, revenge, not repeat. And here we are once again in the same boat. Your boat, the boat you invited us on, the boat where I've been the calm captain on this ship this season. And what did you do? You shit the bed. The boat sank. And you had time to fix the holes in the boat before it sank. And you gave up. I said, we've gone out of the Matrix into the Game of Thrones. What did you do? You put your swords down. I'm honestly embarrassed. That was the most embarrassing thing I've seen. Where were our leaders? Where were our players? And don't give me Eza wasn't there. Calafiori and Noni tried their hearts out to save this game when they came on the pitch. How did Trossard stay on for so long? What was Havertz doing? Gyökeres, lone man wolf. The dude looked like a spare in a... You let us down. You let us down. James, over to you, James, because I feel for the first time in a long time let down. And let me tell you something. I owe you all an apology. You know I like to give them. And when I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. To every single Arsenal fan that wanted David Raya to start the game, and some of us defended that Kepa should start the game because he's earned the right as the domestic goalkeeper, I apologize to you. I apologize to you because you were right and I was wrong. And that cost us. James.
Yeah, look, I said he was going to do it. I knew he was going to do it. And maybe more fool me in that I believed that we could get out of there with this defence that we've got that are so good with him being in goal. And it cost us. Him dawdling, dilly-dallying on the ball in our own box when he hasn't got the passing range of Raya, either long or short, to create any kind of real attacking threat or trap, breathed life into Man City, Sophie, because it just indicated that we were too scared. We were too scared to attack them, and we would rather play within our own half and play within ourselves than actually go up there and try and do anything against him. And again, most of this, sadly, and I really don't want to dig into him today, but a lot of this sadly falls on Mikel Arteta. It falls at his feet. You know, he has to bear the brunt of this. I said all week on various channels. I've done the rounds this week. I've been very lucky. You invited me here. I've been on my own channel. I've been invited on Arsenal Above All. I've done the rounds. And I said that there needs to be a seminal moment where Mikel Arteta has to no longer be little broed by Pep Guardiola. But unfortunately, he is still little bro. You know, impressive, most impressive, but you are not a Jedi yet, Mikel. Again, Darth Vader managed to slay him in the moment when he needed it the most. And I am absolutely crushed. I agree with you. Hincapié praised him all season. Didn't have a good game, in my opinion. But we all could see what was happening. And you were like, switch that left-hand side at halftime. Bring Martinelli on, bring Calafiori on, because all the front foot play and action that you've been given, that you want to do, has stopped because you're panicking about Hincapié on a yellow card. And Trossard as well did absolutely nothing to protect him. Trossard's performance today was embarrassing. And then next to that, and I'm ready, I'm waiting because I can see a little bit of the tide has turned in the comments. So I might be all right tonight. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see when the knives come out my back later on tonight. Bukayo Saka, youngest captain for Arsenal in a cup final since Tony Adams versus Luton. And that's the performance we got in two different positions, by the way. And he was awful in both. That from Bukayo Saka today is the worst performance I've seen at Wembley since Axl Rose in June last year for Guns N' Roses. It was a disgrace from Bukayo Saka today. Absolute disgrace. And I'm sorry, Demian, if you're friends of Axl Rose and Guns N' Roses, but that was an awful concert. I didn't even go. I was offered a ticket for free and I still never went. But yeah, Saka today was an absolute disgrace. One of many. Not the worst by any means. The only two players that could come off there that started with any credit was Gabriel and Saliba. Saliba today was amazing against Haaland. He marshalled Haaland superb the whole game. But everybody else completely take a look at yourselves and, you know, and try and pick yourselves back up again. Because this cannot be, like we talked about, Sophie, this cannot be a catalyst now for everything else to tumble apart. And I'll leave it there. I've gone on my
and the truth is, and speak your truth. You have been talking about Saka in a very fair way, I think, for the last few weeks on our post-game shows. You've had a lot of crap thrown your way. People who listen to the show think that you've been off, but it's consistently consistent. Okay, I said consistently consistent. Yes, I can say what I want. Our players are rubbish. Demian, sorry.
Hi, I hope that you guys hear me okay. My mic has been really
Demian,
weird.
we
Yes.
hear you okay. Go for it.
Okay. I echo everything that James is saying, and that I'm assuming that my brother Albert will say as well. And you, Sophie, I'm very disappointed. My beef is mostly with Arteta, somebody that I have historically not been the biggest fan of. This is exactly, I mean, it's convenient for me to criticize him now, but I was never really confident after the second half, because we said it in our group chat. He had to make the changes. He never did. The momentum after the 15th minute was all on City, and you just walked right in. You opened the door, the opposite. You opened the door and you just let them walk through. We talked about it before the first goal. We told each other subs need to come in, or it's going to get ugly and they're going to score again. And it happened. I don't know what he was waiting for. So that is my big beef. Saka being captain is one of the most stupid things I can ever see a manager do. There's, from where I stand, very little leadership capabilities on the pitch as far as being vocal. And like, he mentions Tony Adams. Just think about literally the stature of players, right? And I'm talking as a 5'7" person. So this is not a dig at height, but you're talking about somebody that is quiet and chill and mellow, and that is his personality. And if he's not going to be leading on the pitch by being vocal, you would expect him to be, the lead by example type of a captain. And he hasn't been either. So, of course, it's his fault that he's not playing well. But if you're a manager with any cojones, you would yank him at halftime, or you wouldn't start him. Like, I don't know how many times this has to happen for Madueke to get a start, for other players to get in there. It grinds my gears. And this is the type of shit where I keep saying and feeling that he's just not the right guy. And you have 5 leagues, 5 years to trial and error, and you finally do it. At the same time, when the league hasn't been all the best, and teams aren't the best, and you might be able to do it. I still think that we can do it, and we can compartmentalize and win the damn league. But every final, every tweak, everything, he just gets out-coached every single time, and I'm so exhausted by it. And yes, maybe he's the league type of manager, but that is not sustainable. Like, to get like James said, the seminal moment and the moment. Maybe it was Max Dowman. That's for the league. Where was Max Dowman today? You need to have guts. You need to, the whole fortune favors the brave thing. You just have to do it. And he never really does it in the big games. Everton, that's cute. Do it against City. Show the world, like, you know what? I'm not going to be bullied. I know it's Guardiola. Who gives a shit? Just do it. Just do it. And I am so bummed about it. And at the same time, I'm not surprised. I was texting with my friend who's a major City fan. I told him, like, if you win, I wouldn't be surprised. What bothers me the most is this dude's haircut, and he scored 2 goals against us. Like, I never take a player like him seriously with that haircut. I don't care if it's Willian. I don't care if it's whatever. And that guy is the one that scores two against us. It's just like,
it was, you know what? He had a man of the match. O'Neill was superb today. He was brilliant. He was unplayable. And Thibaut Pesque is saying something here that I was screaming at in my WhatsApp groups. We had no ball carriers. That is glaring in our side. Odegaard is the only one who can carry in small spaces. Rice when he has room, and that's it. That's not enough. And Eze, of course, that was just a gut punch. Before I had a little tip, and I didn't go public, but there was a little tip early that Eze might not be playing, and with his form, it definitely is something that we miss. But at the same time, guys, no excuses. We have a squad, the best squad in the league, in Europe, our backups, and plug and play, cut and paste. Albert, you did a watch along. Where did it really go wrong for us Albert. I'll leave you with this and you have the floor. I feel like we're a team. I was saying this to James before we started the show. I feel like we're a team that, because we create so few chances, when our chances don't hit, we shrink. When we pummeled Trafford and he made those great saves, by the way, you want to come in hard on Gyökeres and finishing and stuff. Havertz has got to bury that. He's got to bury that. And then there was the rebound as well, which I think fell to Saka, and he couldn't bury it either. It feels to me that we're a team that shrink because they feel that's the chance. We did nothing after that moment, Albert. You did the watch along. Where did we fail today?
Yeah, sorry for joining a little bit late, but yeah, it's a little bit of a debrief after the game.
Just
So
turn your mic down one smidgen, Albert. Just one little. It's quite loud.
right, let me turn it down.
Probably.
Is that better?
I say I'm loud. I'm just whatever.
Is that
Yeah,
better,
that's
son?
better. Yeah.
Right, let me turn down the decibels because it's gonna get hot in here, man. Where did it go wrong? We brought our league form into a cup final. That's what went wrong. The first half was a game of two halves, and City decided to come out and play exactly the way they did in the latter stages of the first half into the second half. And what astonished me watching it, I was getting really irate, as you probably might have seen, is you have to recognise the way the game is going. And I kept saying it during the watch along. You got to be a proactive manager. Don't be a reactive manager. Do not go 1-0 down and then make the changes. That's what happened. It might be too late if they go and get the second goal. That's what happened. Be more proactive. Look at the way the game was going in that first 15 minutes. Not engaging winning the first balls. Not winning the second balls. As mentioned, yes, we miss Eza, but come on, man. Let's be serious here. No ball carriers. Have we not seen that team play this season, Man City? Have you not seen Semenyo play in the Premier League for the last 2-3 years? Have you not seen what Doku does? Make the changes at half time. You have to do it. Sophie, Demian and James and people in the chat, we haven't got a game to the 11th of April. What are we waiting for? It's a cup final. We've not seen it for 6 years. You saw how I was crying on this podcast, saying I want to go to the final. I feel for the guys that went to that final today, because not everybody lives in London. To go and see that after 6 years. I don't hear no shit about quadruple. It's nothing to do with quad talk, Sophie. I sat on this show with Kenny Ken, and we've done the SWOT analysis show. And there's a reason why opportunities is in the SWOT analysis. Today was a massive opportunity. They have not got no Ruben Diaz. Stones is on the bench. Kushinoff has only came to the country last year. Donnarumma's on the bench. And you put in that performance. It's unacceptable, Sophie. You saw how angry I was after the semi-final against Newcastle last season. Because Arsenal have a disgusting habit of choking. We've spoken about mentality till I'm blue in the face. You can't see it in my face because of my skin complexion. But you know what I mean. And this is another one. I understand the whole talk about don't let it derail the season. I'm not talking about that now. I'm dealing in the here and now. I'm one very small voice in the community. I said this on the watch along. There's some people that are going to be spitting blood tonight. A cup final. Football career is not long, you know. If you stay injury free. People slam. Look at Harry Kane. It's a perfect example. Football's a short career. Go and win silverware. Nothing is guaranteed. When I saw the subs today, Sophie and Guy, I was going to take off my microphone. What is going on here? I cannot believe we're not coming up against a Man City side that we've never seen them play before. We don't know how they're going to come up against us. But that today, I don't care what signings we made in the summer. We have a nucleus of this side that has played together for 2 to 3 years. To not put in a performance like that, that was shameful for a cup final. I'm sorry. I'm not here to dole out praise to certain players because I have to I'm looking at it as a collective. I want to see us win silverware, pick up trophies, not runners-up medals. I'm flabbergasted by some of the, and I think the thing that tipped me over the edge. Before, let me finish, Sophie. I'm gonna keep going on. When I saw them subs come on at 81 minutes, I didn't know what to say anymore. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I'm done. I'll come back and you probably ask me another question.
No.
But
Carry on.
I'm so angry because.
No, Albert, please continue and articulate your thoughts about the subs because a lot of people have a lot to say about that. Carry on.
The Hincapie one for me was obvious. Demon said it. Make the sub at 45. Be more bold. He's done it at parts of the season, Mikel, where you made substitutions at half time. Take Trossard off. I've never done this before, Sophie, in the stream. I had to ring my nephew to make sure he was all right. Because he's at the age where he understands how important games are. Because Arsenal have made him cry this season. And he's 9. So you have to make that sub. Arsenal's biggest issue is we don't get runners going in behind. That is a systematic problem at Arsenal for season upon season. And I said it. Wembley's a big pitch. You have to utilise Martinelli and Noni Madueke. Take Saka off. Take him off. It's not about whether he's a captain or whether he's getting wages a week. Take him off. When people are ineffective and they're your go-to players, you take them out the firing line. You take them off. You put Madueke on. To me, I'm not a manager or a coach, but Mikel, you've got to see this. You testiculating up and down the so-called box is not helping the side. Make the changes. What are you waiting for? I've said it before. We're not playing till the 11th of April. What's he waiting for? Take Zubimendi off. Norgar's probably thinking, what the bloody hell did I come to this club for? It's crazy thinking to me. It's making me sick seeing them guys. The season they've had, the inconsistency City have had. Yes, they've got some talented footballers. Ryan Cherky ran the show. Run it. Where was our players? Line-breaking players. Lewis Kelly's not had the most amazing season, but no, you know what he does? What we didn't do today? He breaks the lines and there's a ball carrier. But we're so rigid the way we play. What, you're trying to scam a cup final win? Are you taking the piss? Against this City side? Come on, man. Listen, I'm one for seeing that we're going on all fronts, but I'm sorry, sod that for now. I don't encourage anybody to watch that final if they didn't watch it today. They can go and watch it to punish themselves, but you know what the result's going to be. But today, to me, is completely unacceptable. And I'm being polite by using unacceptable. And I rest my case there. So, let me finish. One more thing, sorry. And I'm going to stand on this because I've already said it. I said on the Arsenal Arms, whatever happens this season, these players need to hear a new voice. I don't care what anybody says to me about Mikel. They need to hear a new voice. Me and Sophie got panned in the chat that day, saying we're being disrespectful to the manager and we drew 1-1 away at Brighton. I said, no. Sometimes players need to hear a new voice. You think I'm saying this on the back of just what happened today? No, it isn't. Let's be serious here. So whatever happens this season, I'm grateful if, you come into a club as a manager, things are not always well. It happens in football. It happens. But this final today is not sitting well with me. After what I saw in that Carabao Cup semi-final last season, I said, nah, these players need to flipping step up, man, and get this mentality monkey off their backs. And you know what you've done today? You fueled it for the mainstream media and sections of our own fan base and rival fan base to say that this Arsenal team ain't worth shit.
I think I need a cigarette after that. Jesus Christ.
I'm so angry, Demi. I saw your message come up when I was doing the live watch along. Honestly.
Albert, just cut that and make it your show for when you do yours. Just utilize that segment. Albert is probably one of the most level-headed people you will come across in life. Forget that. Forget on post-game shows. You guys hear him on his show, on this show, on Dan's show, on Lee's show, level-headed. For Albert to feel this way, it's totally freaking legit. And I've never, ever seen him this incensed. And just to riff off what Albert is saying in terms of performance and stuff, and then you guys can jump in here. This comment from Garvchin, I was so livid. For those listening on audio, the comment says, Cherky doing keepy uppies didn't involve a reaction. Tells you everything you need to know. What the actual fuck is wrong with these players? Where was your dark arts? Where was your bullshit fighting that you were doing at the final whistle when we drew to Wolves or whoever? Where was all of that? Where were the leaders? There was nothing out there. And someone made a comment in the chat, and I starred it. I think I have it. Talking about there were 11 players out there, but we're focusing on the manager. We're focusing on everyone. The players, we haven't even started yet. When we're just getting warmed up on ripping them to shreds because they deserve it tonight. Fans work so hard. And I know people say, so cringe. They're talking about the fans. They paid it's a choice. Let me tell you something, okay? In this day and age that we live in this climate where there's uncertainty everywhere and people's jobs and people being made redundant, people work hard. They choose to still spend money on Arsenal. Going to Wembley isn't cheap. There are fans around the world, Arsenal America, every pub full of fans in Asia, Australia. I woke up at 2:00 this morning to prepare for today. That's my time from my family. And you know what? It has come to this today because they don't deserve our time. They don't deserve our money. They don't deserve anything from us today. No empathy, none. We've given it to them all season. Understanding, empathy. We're going to play this way and we're going to win. And you get the opportunity to change the narrative for the fans, if anything, and you bomb. And not only do you bomb, guys, you bomb bad. You stunk the joint out. Like, shameful performance. What is it going to take for Mikel to drop Zubimendi? What is it going to take for fans to understand that certain players in our team still might not be the long-term answer? The great hope of Havertz. It's all going to be down to him. Maybe as a super sub, it would have been different. Why does Mikel roll the dice and bring Max Dowman on and he doesn't bring him on in this game? What is that about? Don't you want to win? Don't you want to throw the kitchen sink at these guys? I just really feel like so let down today, so let down. And Albert's talking about it from a football perspective, like the things that we lacked, the things we didn't do, the excuses. And then there's, as a fan, what you've got to deal with, like when you go to work tomorrow or online or whatever. They let us down. They didn't give us the ammunition to start saying we're different. We're changed. They didn't. And here we are. Here we are. No risk. You're in a cup final. A cup final. A cup final at Wembley. Saka's played there. Rice has played there. Like these players, it's like then it's what is wrong with them? So today it is fair to the person who said the 11 players on the pitch, but you're focused on Mikel. Because it feels like today Mikel wasn't willing to do everything he could to win that trophy. James, over to you guys. Say what you want. We have 650 people in live chat here, just on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. I hope you're finding some comfort in this, but unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be much comfort for anyone tonight.
And that toll of the bell is the 10 bells for Arsenal in this cup final. It's very apt that that bell was tolling at that specific time. No, look, Albert, like you said, Sophie, this guy is one, you know, if he was any cooler, he'd be a cucumber. And he's completely gone on a very precise tirade there. And he's spot on with everything he said. And the thing there as well, like you said about the cup final, this was a squad today that had an average age of 27 years old. It's taken us 6 years to get to a cup final. If we wait another 6, the majority of these are going to be 33. They're not going to be there. Some of them that are out there today, that could be their one and only shot at a cup final ever. Ever. And where was like you said, where was the effort? Where was the wanting to win? And I know a lot of people have come in for me already about the Saka one, but there were times in that game again from him, and I've seen it recently, and it's not just me pointing it out. You've got pros that are pointing it out. Darren Bent, even you know, some of the ex-Arsenal players that have said this guy is trying to be a hero in his own story. He's trying to do things for Bukayo Saka, not for Arsenal Football Club.
Who said that?
Darren Bent the other night said about him as well that he said that Trossard and Gyökeres are in better positions, but he's trying to score himself and trying to be the hero in his own story and not a hero in Arsenal's story. And I agree with it. I saw today there were times where players were in better positions, but he tried to shimmy, he tried to, you know, jock and jive about and everything, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And like you said, he was the captain, Arteta as manager. And the thing as well is, the most strongly enforced of all taboos in life is who you are behind the mask of your own ego. And today, he backed them players too much because he probably thought that they were going to, you know, 81 minutes. The game was gone. Sophie, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. But fans started to walk up the stairs and go to get an earlier train. Because and this is it as well. 6 years since we've seen a cup final, you know, since fans could go to a cup final and see a cup final, and they left 10 minutes before it ended because they knew we were never coming back. That's sad in its own right. Mm-hmm. And another thing, Sophie, sorry, because I know you're itching to come in here.
No, please carry on, James.
You had the great speech after before the show ended from David Hillier the other night. And David Hillier mentioned about all that squad from 93 and their wives or what have you were all going to that game as a reunion together. And I won't drop the F-bomb because I know we've done a few swear words in here, so I won't drop the F-bomb to completely ruin it.
I think I already dropped it.
Okay, well, if I'm allowed one, I'll take one.
You can have one. You're mulligan. Everyone gets a mulligan.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I bet they were all sat there going, what the fuck was that?
Vinny's pissed.
Because those guys, well, not just had a manager that drained it into them, but they had a bit of pride in themselves. That's what made me really upset today. And I know Madwecki, when he come on, looked good. Calafiori, when he come on, looked good. And it was so obvious. It was just like, well, there you go. That's what you should have done at, you know, those were the things you should have done at half time. Hindsight is a wonderful thing, but we could all see it as fans. Why couldn't you see it as the manager? This is what you're paid to do. This is the big bucks. This is the big time. And
you know what, James? You know what, James? You said something interesting there because Manchester City have been so poor this season, right? They got humiliated by Real Madrid, humiliated by West Ham, right? And they found humility and came into this final with a point to prove because they have a manager that doesn't accept mediocrity and is willing to drop anyone, even his own mother, if it meant winning a trophy. Mikel has supposed non-negotiables, right? Non-negotiables. And ruthlessness, the most ruthless manager since George Graham. He wasn't ruthless today. You've all said it. Paul Saka, he's bad. Noni Madueke, give him a shot. He's the only Maverick we have on the bench with Eza not being able to play today. Throw him in earlier. Let him weave some magic. We've seen some of that this season. He got outcoached. You know that scene in The Fugitive where Tommy Lee Jones, I want you to search every outhouse. Pep took Mikel's milk money and dropped him in the outhouse.
It's another hold my pocket moment from Pep Guardiola to Mikel Arteta.
Just when you think he's on his knees, that's what I say this a lot. Always be closing. My Glengarry, Glen Ross, my scene, Demian and Albert and James. Always be closing. That's what sports is about at the end of the day. This is the season to close. We've been saying on this show, the Carabao Cup is the vehicle to victory. It is the emotion that is going to set the tone, the celebration, the winning together, the fighting, the cause. What happened? I'm sorry, but what happened? We fell off a cliff so bad, right? And I know that there wasn't even that last minute kind of, we get ourselves out of it. You could see that maybe a goal was coming. The fight back was pathetic, honestly.
So if someone mentioned in the chat and they're right. I understand sometimes you can win games of football and not play well. But however, when you're in a final, you need some level of performance. That was pathetic today. We've been to 9 finals now in League Cup finals. We've won 2. I even had to bring up, rest in peace, Kevin Campbell. I had to bring him up at the end of the street. I needed something, Sophie, James Demian. I said, this man still is a member of the last time this Arsenal side won a League Cup. 1993. There's so many things these group of players could have laid to rest today, and they failed miserably. I mean, I could use stronger words, but I mean, I think I've already used them. As a one-off performance, you can talk about the league tomorrow or the next couple of weekdays or whatever you want to talk about as sections of the fan base. But I have to deal with the here and now after a cup final. And I'm not going to shake this off tonight. Not even tomorrow. I don't even know when I'm going to shake it off, but you have to understand something. Us as fans, we've been told about projects. We've been told about be patient. We've been told to have some resistance. We've been told everything to hold on to. It takes time. What the bloody hell was that today?
Yeah, good question, Albert. Great question.
And the thing as well is they're all going to go on international break now. And do you not think when them players are away, and some of them have to go with City players, but they have to go with all these other, and do you not think the conversations we're having, there ain't going to be a few of them that go there and go, ha, choked another one, you know, and they've got all that.
Of course.
And this is the big thing for me. And I'm not trying to be doom and gloom and what have you, but I'm like, how are you going to pick yourselves up again after that? Now, thank God we've got a break. And like I said the other night when we did the big preview, Sophie, when we have lost this season, it hasn't led to a cluster of losses, which is a positive. But I'm looking at it now going, you've got another cup game against a side like Southampton. Now, bear in mind, the squad last season that were going for a quad and ended up falling on their feet was Liverpool. And Liverpool tried to be too cute and too clever against Plymouth in the FA Cup, and they got done as well. And I'm the same about, I don't like Arsenal losing anything. If Arsenal were in a raffle, I want them to win that. And I'm like, don't you dare be too cute and too clever again in our next game against Southampton. And you win that one, and you get us to another chance to get to Wembley in the semis. And I hope when we go to Wembley again, we are nowhere near as abject or as cowardly or as bad as we were today.
Fair enough. Demian, one of the things I say on this show a lot is stop with the hype videos. Stop with the, plucking at your heartstring. There was a video that went out. Everyone was raving about it. I don't know, started off with someone in a barbershop, maybe, I don't know. There was another video went out. People were regurgitating the one from last season against PSG in the Champions League, the club with their little fucking... Sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't usually swear. I apologize for that. Sorry.
No, Sophie, no,
I'm very
Sophie,
angry.
don't apologize.
Listen, let me tell you something. Stop talking. I don't want to see Saka on Sky Sports anymore. I don't want to see Declan Rice do one more interview this season. Shut the F up. Stop it. You have no right to be talking about the idea of winning when you keep failing.
Well said. Tired of it, Sophie. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, I understand we've moved in a different time when it comes to football. We're part of the content creating body. You've got social media accounts. You see stuff pop up all the bloody time. And it's not even
but you know what, Albert? The fans aren't stupid.
No, we're not.
Okay, our fans are not stupid. And you've let them down today. You've made us all look stupid. You guys, we're not stupid. You, the way you played, the way you tackled this, the way you prepared for the whole thing, your stupid little hype videos, just stop it. Just win something and then talk. My dad always used to say to me, like, I'd come home and brag about something. Not finished yet, Sophia Amor. Achieve, then talk. Don't be a braggadocio. I was taught that lesson so early in my life from my parents. Anyway, Demian, I know how you feel about, you are in an industry that's all about hype. You're the percussionist for Miley Cyrus, right? That's hype. Hype belongs there, especially with Miley. But Demian, this is the issue that we have as fans, is that we're just waiting for the moment for them to help us and give us the tools in our toolbox to be able to stand in front of opposing fans and say, you know what? We did it. We won it. What's next? Now the narrative that I've got to deal with when I'm on TalkSport later is, does this mean the rest of the season is going to crumble, Sophie? Demian.
To that point, I don't think so, but that's just me lying to myself, perhaps, or whatever. But I genuinely don't think that will derail the league. Albert and you, Sophie, we kind of talk about this all the time. And it strikes a chord with me because I live in LA. I don't hang around London, and I don't have to put up with anybody essentially giving me stick for being an Arsenal fan, like the odd friend here and there, but I take it with a grain of salt or whatever. I'm not in there all the time, so my life would be very different. But Albert always says that we need to receive ammo from the team. Like if we're going to get attacked and we got to attack back, we can't just attack back about the Invincibles or this or that, or 1989, or this, or George Graham, or 1-0 to the Arsenal, or that we have Thierry Henry and we had Dennis Bergkamp. We just have to do stuff. And you have to back it up. To me, a lot of it stems from the manager. And last time I was on this show, I got grief because I said that I would still think, or that will continue saying that Arteta is a coward. And, that is an insult from man to man that I don't say lightly, and I say it lightly here. I don't think he's an actual coward. But a lot of his decisions make me feel that he is not an elite manager. And we keep talking about City and how they're not that great, all that other stuff. I would like for people to remember and take, to borrow Arsene Wenger-ism, chronological distance. And we need to realize that we are going against Pep Guardiola, one of the greatest managers in the history of football. We're not talking about the guy that, won a couple of cups here and there, yada, yada. I grew up watching Guardiola play for Barcelona. I watch him play at Roma. I watch him play at Brescia. I watch him play wherever he's been. He's an absolute monster. And if you read anything about him, you know that he grew up with Johan Cruyff, the GOAT, the most important footballer ever. Okay? As far as football is concerned, nobody's more important than Cruyff. You have Maradona, you have Pelé, fine. They never coached. They never created La Masia. They never created a philosophy of football that is imitated throughout history by so many clubs in so many different countries all over the planet, right? So we're going against Guardiola. What does Guardiola do? He knows that Arteta is not going to make subs. So he keeps his team as is. He's like, you just keep playing. They're going to self-destruct. They're not going to be able to cope. And he does not cope. There's nothing revolutionary about what Arteta has been doing ever. Hi, Lisa. He might be good enough to win us the league because of X, Y, or Z. I don't think that we've had a crap season. I don't think we've played horrible football the whole season. I don't necessarily subscribe to that. We're in a final. We're Champions League quarterfinals. We're about to play, or we're first in the league, whatever. But this idea that we are just as good as our manager, it bothers me. And I want to talk briefly about, because a lot of people I know, they're mentioning, if we get a new manager, it's going to be a 10-year rebuild. I appreciate that perspective. I don't agree with it. And you cannot not look at Arsenal women. Okay? I know a lot of people don't watch Arsenal women. Last season, it was horrendous, the first half of the season. Horrendous. Absolutely horrible. We had one of the biggest POSs managing our girls, right? He pushed Viviana Miedema. He benched this. He didn't play this player. He didn't play this player, whatever. He was awful. And what happens? We got a new manager, a new voice, to quote Albert, a new voice, somebody that listened to the players, that know how to get the best out of the players. And what happens? We beat the best teams essentially in the history of the Champions League, of the modern game as we know it. We beat all of them. Lyon, Bayern Munich. And we beat Barcelona with Alexia Putellas, the, fucking Mbappe, the Messi. And with Aitana Bonmati, the this. And with, Katia Cole, the. We beat all of them. So it's in the club. We've seen it. We don't have to go that much farther. You all know, you three know who I want as my next manager at Arsenal. I don't think that Arteta is the right person, because I would love if my club, the club that I wake up at 3:45 in the morning, to watch, right? I want my manager to be an elite level manager that people are scared. Okay, and people always get my analogy wrong about the forwards that I talk about. I'm going to say it one more time, because this team is, and we can talk about Arteta that way. I don't want my forwards, my number 9s, nor my manager to be the guy that marries my sister. Okay, that's all fine and dandy. That's cute. What I want is a guy to knock on the door, and I open that door, and the guy's about to take my sister out on a date, right? And he's wearing a leather jacket. He's smoking a cigarette. He has a neck tattoo. And he's asking me how hot my mom is because he wants to bang her as well. Okay? I want an evil POS with no scruples, with no boundaries, with no sentimental shit, that happens to be very, very good at pragmatism and at football and understanding behavior. And like Albert said one more time, somebody that is proactive, not reactive. And that is what life boils down to. You have to be proactive. You have to shoot. You have to score. Like Thierry Henry said, sometimes in a game of football, you have to score a goal, right? Something along those lines. And James, I know you are a historian. You can point me in the right direction. I believe it was Tony Adams. I'm a little adrenaline filled right now to remember. Who was it that said, and how did they say it, that, you have to play for the badge in the front of the shirt and not the name on the back? And to quote what to paraphrase what you said about Saka.
If you play for the badge on the front, they'll remember the name on the back.
That
exactly.
was
Tony Adams.
Yeah, and not to be facetious, but like, what have these players done to remember, for us to remember their names? You have to win trophies, and it was there for you
every time. Like Sophie says, every time we get to the crunch, and it's the big time, and it's the moment to get you over the line. They've chucked it. They've absolutely chucked it.
Okay, I'm going to bring in Dimitri live from Wembley Stadium right now, you guys. Dimitri joined us on the pre-game show. Dimitri, can you hear us? Might have a little bit of a
I can
problem.
hear you guys. I've got terrible connection.
Okay, if you can hear me,
I'm on
just
the
give
way
us
to the
your sense of
There
what's going
is-
on there with fans and everything. We'll let you have the floor.
Listen, guys. Obviously, I don't know if you can hear me properly, but I'm very upset. I'm hurting, as you all are right now. 2-0 to City. This is a tough pill to swallow. However, I feel like we need to accept what's happened tonight.
He's cutting out a little bit. Let's see if we can get him back. This is what I'm talking about. Our fans don't deserve to feel that tonight coming out of that Wembley Stadium. Dimitri, can you hear us? Just you carry on talking.
There's a load of City fans around me. They're all loving it. He's loving it. He's loving it. He's loving it. But do you know what he's not going to love? Loving it. They're loving it, but then they're not going to love us winning the league. we are gonna love winning the league.
Listen to me, Dimitri. Let me tell you something right now. Hey, listen. No. Listen to me. Get out of there. Get out of there right now and put your phone down. Okay.
Anyway,
I'm gonna text you. We can't have that. Can you guys? I'm just gonna give him a quick text. Okay. I don't want him. If he's got City fans around him and things get weird after football matches, we can talk to him another time.
Yeah, stay safe.
But you can see, right? That's just, I'm thinking about my friends who are at the game, and I've got a lot of strong friends, and there are a lot of them that my messages are just popping up, and it's they're done. They're just done. They're done. So, you know, they're done. And these are people that actually, you know, work in football. It's just, has anyone got a quote for me from Mikel Arteta? Please.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
He's the only one right now because he's obligated to do an interview. Now, if I were him, I would take the fine and go home and keep my windows up and not sign autographs. Ain't no one asking you for an autograph tonight, Mikel. What's the problem with the midfield? I want to talk about Declan Rice for a minute because I'm going to share something with you guys. Everyone has an opinion, right? Tony said to me the other day, she said, and look, I love people who don't obsess about football the way we do and watch football the way we do, right? I appreciate the perspective of someone who's looking at the game with some newness, even though they've been around me for years and years and years. Tony doesn't watch football like me. And she's like, can you just please explain to me what it is that Declan Rice does in certain games? Because all I see is him passing the ball sideways. He and Zubimendi. Sideways, 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 sideways. Now, look, Declan Rice has been unbelievable. He's been amazing. To be a world-class player, you guys, you've got to do it every week, every game, and you've got to show up in the big games. And our players who we've lauded, Declan Rice, amazing, Saka, mate, it's just disappeared. Why can't you play Norgard? What is Havertz and Gyökeres? What did they get today, delivery-wise? What did Havertz do for Gyökeres? Supposedly, he can unlock Victor. The only thing you were unlocking was, I don't know.
That was the game. That was the game plan, Sophie. How we set up. We set up to park a bus and, like Albert said, try and scam a win against Man City, and it was a Man City that was gettable. You know, let's not forget. You know, everyone's going on about Timber and Eze. Let's not forget that back four that played for Man City today. That is the most gettable back four that Man City had, and other than Kai Havertz in the first half missing a sitter, Jesus nearly looping a header that hit the bar near the end, and Calafiori hitting a header straight in his hands. What did we do? What did we do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was completely abject. And you got fans in there saying, "Oh, James, why are you saying we chucked it? We won 6 of the last 8." Yeah, what did we win at the end? What did, I don't want. I'm sorry. What did we win? What trophy did we lift at the end? That's the difference, my friend. I'm not trying to be nasty to you, and I know you're not trying to be nasty to me. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to the trophies, the medals, and we've got none, apart from an FA Cup 6 years ago. That's the difference.
Well, let's have a look. Mikel Arteta on selecting Kepa. I had to do what I feel is right, which is honest and fair. Oh, you're so cute. You're so lovely. No, let me just give him a little hug. So cute, so fair. I said he should play Kepa. I'm not the manager, though. I'm going by what people say. That's your domestic keeper. Pep's going to play Trafford. What would it say if Raya started? He makes a mistake. Well, it ended up being Kepa making the mistake. But honest and fair in sports, is this kindergarten?
If you're going to play Kepa, then do not set up in the way that we did. You had Kepa dawdling on the ball to try and dictate play. He ain't that guy. How that was ever thought of or concocted to be a great game plan against Manchester City, who Carl sat here the other day and he said, "I hope we played a front four that I want to see." And they did just that. And look at them. They pressed him. They made him panic. They made us look a bit shaky and everything. And we were just passing it around all amongst ourselves. And it's exactly the same what Demian said. Let them do that because they'll get themselves in trouble and we'll score against them. And they did. They beat us.
100%, James. Can I read this from Arsenal FC? Let's not melt down now. See where we stand at the end of May. No. Okay? And it's not a meltdown. This is a constructive, energetic, honest conversation about how shit our team were today. There is no redeeming feature. There is no silver lining today. It's like when someone breaks up with you. Don't worry, you'll find someone else. I don't want to hear that today.
So just to add to that, so my thing is, what type of game does it have to be as an Arsenal fan outside of a cup final where you might just lose your head a little bit? You tell me a game. First cup final in 6 years. And if you want to be really precise in terms of fans going to cup finals, you have to go back to Baku. And when we played the same team we played 2018 and we got embarrassed. So tell me, what game does it have to be for us to keep a calm, measured approach and analysis of a game outside of a cup final? I'll wait for the answer.
Sophie, you're on mute.
Said Albert, I'm proud of how the players fought to get here, says Mikel Arteta. But Arsenal, that's the Arsenal, Mikel, you should know that by now. We are here to win trophies, and today we failed to do that. Yes, and you failed in not enjoying the occasion. So Lee Judges said something on the show. If you remember his video the other night, he ended it by saying, enjoy. Albert, mute a minute because there's a feedback coming from over there. He said, enjoy it. Enjoy it, squaddies. Enjoy it, Arsenal fans. We're in a cup final. Those players didn't enjoy today. There was nothing. Mikel couldn't wait to get out of the lineup. He looked so agitated at the beginning and stuff like that. But the players didn't enjoy it. So you want to talk about the players and you want me to lay off Mikel Arteta for a minute? Okay, let's talk about the players. You're playing in a cup final at Wembley. Where's your bravado? Why aren't you enjoying that? Someone just put in chat, Semenyo's been at City for 2 months. Gay, and they've won a trophy. And it's standards. And I put pictures up the other day. Like, you've had so much support. You've had so much investment. You've got the backing of the owners. You've been given everything. And we talked about legacy, right? If he just won the cup today, takes it up another notch. We talk about legacy and he gets all this lauding all the time. Come on, man. It's just like James said, what have you won? And someone like Vic Akers, who's won everything, okay, has to fight to get a smidgen of a wall inside the Emirates with his name on it to recognise what he's done for the club. Don't start me now on other things because I'll get going and I won't let go.
Sophie, the only manager
for doing sweet FA
that we've had win a trophy in Europe doesn't even have a statue. He has and they go, oh, he has a bust. I'm like, no, you won't give him a statue because back in the 90s, he took a few brown envelopes. Every manager took brown envelopes at that time. What, you know, I'm going on a different tangent here now, but why hasn't George Graham got a statue outside this stadium? Because he took a few brown envelopes. That's a disgrace. He should have one. He should definitely have one. He's our only manager to win a trophy in Europe.
And James, to add to that, this is a man that set us up in the final tactically superbly with the personnel he had. Rest my case.
At some point, guys, you've got to start thinking. And I know when I was ready to like, if Mikel closed this today, I would be like, you know what, no matter what happens, maybe he deserves to stay longer as Arsenal manager. Like, he's going to start proving he can close. We're in 4 competitions. 4. Now, let's wait and see how the rest of the season ends up. The Premier League is the most important, but please don't diminish today's loss or performance just because the Premier League carrot is dangling, which, by the way, we still have to play Manchester City, and it's not over yet. Now, let's see what kind of manager he is, and let's see what kind of players these guys are. How long are you going to rely on Big Gabby and Saliba to save you? To save you, man. Come on. You had all the power today to do something in that match, to tweak it, to shock people. Like for like, like for like. Is it me or did Declan Rice end up playing in defence today? I don't know. What happened?
Yeah, right back. He played right back. It was absolutely insane. But to mention something really quickly about Arteta's press conference or whatever, one of the things that bother me so much about, or bother me in general about managers, because we always say, you know, oh, players need to take a look at themselves, and Rooney says it, and this other player, they always say that. Players need to hold themselves accountable. Well, we don't know if they are. We don't know what the conversations they're having. And ideally, they have them on the pitch with their football. But one thing that grinds my gears about managers is how we everything. We didn't do this and we didn't do that. That's very convenient. I would love if the manager said, I didn't do this. I didn't have the vision to do this. And I've heard Guardiola say it. You've heard Carlo Ancelotti say it. You've heard Jose Mourinho say it. The big boys have said it. We've heard Emma Hayes say it. We have heard René Slager say it. We have heard Sonia Bonpastor. So it's not an alpha male BS thing. You have to have empathy, and you have to, understand where people might be pissed and might need calmness. And one of our listeners mentioned, like, if the team is going to bottle it, at least we as fans, we shouldn't. And I completely understand that sentiment, and I respect it. And I wish I was a little more eloquent to express more of my optimism and positivism. But right now, I just feel that whenever Arteta's shortcomings are exposed is when there's the most on the line, because success will spring success. So
very, very well said.
Thank you. So if you're not going to dare, like one of the things that Guardiola, we all criticize, or people criticize about Guardiola, it's like how he wants to be too cute on finals, and he does this, and he plays one person at goalkeeper when he shouldn't, and blah, 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 blah. At least he dares, and he'll die by that sword, and he'll admit it, and he loses time and time again against Real Madrid for trying different things.
That's true.
But he tries, and I love that about Guardiola. And I wish my manager would be more of a maverick, to borrow your word, Sophie.
He's not, though, and he never will be. He's pragmatic. Let me ask you guys this. I'm going to start with you, Albert. We're in the press conference. What question are you asking Mikel Arteta? Squaddies, over 600 of you. I want to know what question you are asking Mikel Arteta in the post-game press conference right now. What do you want to ask him?
What was the thought process in the first 15 minutes of the second half before you made the subs?
I think
So
we were
quick
winning.
thing.
I'll be Mikel. I think we were winning the duels and we had control of the game. I didn't feel anyway. Sounds French and Arsene Wenger. Whatever. James, that's a good question, but he would give, you know.
Yep.
What question are you asking, James?
Well, I'll try and be cheeky and get in two with him if I could. I'd go, how'd you pick these lot up? Because that's the main thing I want to know is how'd you pick these back up again? And the second one that I would add to that is that we had 5 shots on target all game, and 3 of them come from that scramble from Havertz, and then the other 2 were when the game was lost. So I'd be like, what did you, what were you seeing? What were you, you know, like Albert? What made you think that was the right thing to do?
Okay, I don't think I've been inundated by the squaddies because their questions for Mikel Arteta are coming in thick and fast. I have to read some of these. Ishan says, what would you do if Arsenal don't win anything this season?
He doesn't have to worry about that question because he knows he knows what happens if he wins nothing this season. We all know.
Yeah. Andy says, how come the players didn't turn up for a final, Mr. Arteta? Let's do this one. Hold on one second. There's a few in here. Do you think your lack of bravery is costing you results in big games? I like that one a lot. Is trust the process still valid as you're part of it? Some of these will be funny. Sorry, guys. We've got to laugh. I mean, come on, man. I'm not going to laugh, but that made me chuckle. Do you feel an attacking intent in your tactics, said Barry Byrne. 3 Gaza says, when are you going to bring a trophy? Guy asks, why play Kepa when he has a terrible history in finals where I would have never dropped the ball? Let's see. Clue says, how much do you love the team? Put yourself on mute, Albert, because there's a little echo coming from, I don't know why. Was Kepa under instruction to hold on to the ball too long? And how concerned were you about it? That's a good question. Yes. Eric says, what is the process? When is it maturing? Thibaut says, why did our players freeze in the second half and what took you so long to react? Needing a goal, why did you wait 10 minutes to bring in more offense? Mikel, will you resign if you lose the league? I don't think anyone's asking that question. A couple more here. Why did you not sub in Capier? Mine, or Trossard. Will Bukayo start against Bournemouth? Why didn't you make subs earlier? Asks Asfar. As does Donna. As does 1,000,001 of you. Arteta calls us the loss, says Dominic. Why would you play Trossard and Havertz for that long? Lately, he's making a mistake by playing Capier over Calafiori. Capier is truly strong defensively, but Cala has it going forward. I agree with that. Calafiori was carrying a bit of a niggle, so I understand about that. Albert, there's something you want to add to that.
Yeah, so if I was just browsing, obviously, before you ask the main question to all of us, and Mikel's talking actually right now, I've recorded it. But Sophie, we've spoken a lot, Demian, James, people in the chat, but obviously I'm aiming it more at James and Sophie and Demian. And one of the words that's always crept up about Arsenal is mentality. Now I see the tweet. I'm not going to read the. I'm going to read the tweet. I'm not going to say who sent it, but I saw it. It's posted about 44 minutes ago. He said, "A humbling we probably needed before this last run through to May. One to take on the chin. I'm not sad. This is a trophy of little importance. Time now for the biggest run of all time." Now, if you're a
Name
fan
and shame.
of,
Name and
if you're,
shame him, Albert.
no, I'm
Who
not going to do
tweeted
it.
it?
No, I'm
Who
not going to
tweeted
do
it?
it. No,
Who
I'm not
said
going to do
that?
that.
Who said that? Who said that?
No, I'll put it privately.
Okay.
Let me
That's a
just finish what I was
disgrace.
going to say. So, you as a fan cannot talk about the players and the manager and talk about mentality or winning mentality, and you come out and say and tweet something like that is absolutely insane. It's insane. You might as well not have watched the final, because if that is your attitude, having watched what you've watched for 94 plus minutes, I want to know what really, really disappoints you as an Arsenal fan then. Is it not getting into a cup final and playing and underperforming and witnessing that type of performance? And you put out something like that. You cannot criticize the players about mentality if you as a fan are coming out and saying stuff like that. It's unbelievable.
Right, imagine what they'd have said if we won. That's unbelievable.
The honest truth is,
I
you're
I
correct.
thought it was going to take me ages to see something more disgusting than that performance, and you just topped it already, Albert, by reading that out. That's a disgrace.
Olare. I'm sure there's a it reads it right, James. Guys, the honest truth is he has to win the league. Just to add a few more from the squaddies, because they're all hanging out. None of them are leaving. And I think they just need some comfort, and we'll give it to each other. Owen Blanc, why was it so difficult for your players to hold onto the ball? Look at Cherky. Players couldn't get the ball off him. What a signing he has been. You know, I think it's crazy. Like, he's been so good, and imagining a great City team as well. Football history only says remembers winners, not losers. I'm just going to give the squaddies because it's been so crazy. Let's see. Aki says, why are people actually surprised that we lost this? When was the last time we played good football in a game? Wigan, maybe. Tebow says, it's difficult to win a game when we can't control a football or dribble past anybody. Our technical levels were championship worthy today. What happened? This is really, really true. Mad About Sports Luke says, this performance is why I doubt these players and loser manager can ever win anything. Bloody awful. Scared to play football. Can see us bottling the league now. Let's see. Gun DeKagan? Let's keep our heads now, because we may overdo the noise and spook these delicate lads. They have no fight. Saliba and Gabriel were our best players today. They must feel so let down, those two. This is what Arsenal Football Club needs to be very, very careful of. We talk about it a lot. And one of the things that we say is you need to win to keep your best players. You need to win to keep your best players. And, you know, players who are hungry and want silverware, they'll go elsewhere. And I just want to remind people as well, because there's been so much back and forth about Martin Odegaard. And I said, like, I don't feel like Martin's career is over at Arsenal. It might be. All I know is a player like him, with 15 minutes to go today, maybe could have offered something with the ball. Maybe. You know, we're so quick sometimes to judge and write players off and, you know, jump on the bandwagon and stuff like that. But it doesn't matter who plays. There was nothing there today. Nothing. And unfortunately, that is the truth. Yeah, Berta is actually attracting attention from lots of teams. I mean, he's only been there 1 year. He's only been with us 1 year. Yeah, I know. He's been shit too. He has. It's amazing. Kind of reflecting now. How is it that we're top of the league? No, I joke. I don't know. What else is there to say about losing? We're losers. You know what? Previous seasons, I could defend this team from the bottler narrative, and I would. And I'd go toe-to-toe with anyone on any show that I was on. But now, Today, this is pure bottling of the highest order, and I've never said that about our team.
Nope.
They bottled
Sophie,
the Carabao Cup,
look,
and you
Sophie,
think they're going to win the
pride
Champions League?
ourselves. Yeah, we pride ourselves every time we come on here by saying what we believe we see. You know, you say it all the time. We speak our own truth, whether that's what people want, whether that's what we think people will like. We come on here and we say it as we see. And today, I don't know how anyone else can spin a different narrative. I don't. You're spot on. You're spot on. Everything that could fuel all the people that we don't want to breathe. Again, we don't want to breathe life into, got all their evidence today. And they're going to run with that until we play Southampton. It's gonna, you know, brace yourselves for a pylon, everybody.
James, we deserve it.
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah.
Everything that comes out, and you know what?
And that's why it hurts more, Sophie. That's why it hurts more. It's like if you're getting beaten up, you know, and you try and throw a few putts, and you know you can't get out of it. So you just got to take your licks. You just got to take your licks, sadly, and that's every single one of us until the next game. We just got to keep it going.
I mean, it was a cup final, and we didn't play like we were in a cup final at all. There was absolutely nothing. And I tell you what, if I see a player posting something on social media today, I'm going to tell him to shut up. I will. Is that bad? Can I?
No.
Shut
I mean, obviously we were on here, Sophie, but I hope when we get presented the medals, I hope none of them put them on when they get given the runners-up medal. I hope they just straight away
toss it like Jose Mourinho did. I'm going to stay with us, everyone. I think Dimitri's safe in an Uber now. So real quick one. Hey, Dimitri, how you doing? You got in an Uber safely. Well done.
Hey guys, yeah, I made it. My brother's driving, so I'm all safe.
Okay, good. What's the vibe out there when you were walking out the stadium?
Lots of City fans, obviously. Not living in Manchester, obviously they're living in London, so you know, as we expect.
What was the overall vibe as that second half was kind of moving along, Dimitri?
Negative, of course. Personally, I don't think we played well at all. First half and second half, I don't think we performed as though we should deserve to win that Carabao Cup. But I feel like I think James said it last night. I feel like we need to we need to look at the bigger picture. So obviously tonight we're all hurting. Obviously it was a terrible performance from the whole team. However, we've got a league to win. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
We do have a league to win, but this was a missed opportunity. And I just want to get your take real quick before we duck out. But what was going into the game and going into the stadium and the game starting and stuff? Arsenal fans seemed very, very confident. And I asked this question to all of you the other night. Are you worried that we're the favourites and that maybe there's an overconfidence? But what was the vibe on the ground, Dimitri?
So before the game, including me, I was very confident. I'll be honest with you. I thought we were going to win and we were going to beat them with no problem. And then as the game kind of went on, first half wasn't great, and you could kind of sense that within the stadium. So all the fans were saying we didn't play well, but we're going to pick it up in the second half. And we didn't. We really didn't. So the performance we kind of showed in the first half kind of continued into the second half. And obviously, City have been at Wembley before. And
Dimitri, where do you think our biggest problem was? Because Saliba and Big Gabby always show up, right? There's a lot of the squaddies that are talking about Zubi and Rice. Yoker has got no service. Trossard was poor. There was no connection between him and Nkapie. Where you were in the stadium, you could see it all right in front of you. Where do you think we went wrong today?
I think mostly it was the link between the midfield and the attack. So kind of what everyone's saying. So the midfield between I genuinely, I feel like the fact that Eze wasn't there kind of affected us, because that link between the midfield and the strike kind of, we didn't have anything there. Defensively, okay, I understand we conceded 2 goals. I hear it, but goals are kind of crazy moments, you know. They're things that can happen within games, but you need to kind of make the most out of the possession that you have. And I don't feel like the possession we had in the attacking department of our team kind of really progressed onto scoring goals or doing anything. I feel like, how many goals did we have? How many shots on target did we have?
5.
5 shots on target.
Yeah, 3 of them come from the Havertz chance, and the other 2 were Jesus when it obviously crushed the bar, and Calafiori hit a header into Trafford's hands.
Yeah, I really, from being at the stadium, I really don't feel like we caused much threat. And the fact that you said 5 actually shocked me, I'll be honest with you. So it's concerning, but I do think we need to. I know it's hard right now. I really know it's hard to be positive right now, but I feel like we need to try and be positive. We really do.
Well, we certainly have to try and find a way to be positive, and I love that you're trying to kind of see the silver lining and be positive. Right now, I just want to be pissed off. That's my vibe. But listen, one more from you, real quick, before you go. The Kepa mistake. What were Arsenal fans around you saying? Everyone's heart sank at that point, and going behind against City was going to be tough. But what were the fans saying in the stadium around you?
They were saying everything that you may think that they would be saying, and that would be that Raya should have started. So
yeah. All right, Dimitri. Well, listen, thank you so much for calling us back. We really appreciate it. At ease there. Get inside. Get yourself a nice chai, all right, and a little gabirua.
My throat is hurting right now.
Yeah, and we'll talk to you this coming week, okay? Thanks to Dimitri. Thanks so much. Thanks. You take care too. That's Dimitri on his way back from Wembley. Thank you so much for making time for us. You know, it's just tough. It's really, really tough. And yeah. Anything else that you guys want to add? Did you see the quote that the pod mother gave us? They asked Mikel Arteta if he would change his decision about the goalkeeper. He said no. Of course he's going to say no. I mean, you know, what is he going to say? Yes. And it's the first time I'll ask. Hit the like button just for us. Hit the like button. It helps the show. What else, guys? Anything else that we want to articulate this evening? I'll
say something, Soph, because I didn't get a chance to ask Mikel my question.
Oh, yes, you didn't. Go on.
Which is ironically,
you like Miley Cyrus?
No. Okay. It's in a way the same question that I would ask Vic Akers, which is, how would you like to be remembered? Right? When we talk about Vic, we need 100 podcasts to talk about him, right? Arteta has had all the budget, all the facilities, all the support, all the merch drops, all the media, all the PR, everything he could ever need, all the players that are making more in a week, aka Saka, than probably the entire women's squad have made collectively in 5 years. And I'm curious to know what he thinks about his quote unquote legacy, which at this point there is absolutely none. Okay. So the self-vision.
You don't think the transformation is part of a legacy? Here's the thing.
Absolutely. I'm talking about.
Hold on 1 second. Here's what I think. I think if he wins the Premier League, there is a legacy.
Sure.
If he doesn't win the Premier League, what happens to Mikel's time at Arsenal? It goes from an era to a chapter.
Right. But I asked this question today, not if he wins. I want to know what he thinks about how he would be remembered, or how he would like to be remembered today. That is it. This is not a loaded question or a gimme, or I'm trying to, find something to, hit him back with later as a follow-up question. I genuinely want to know, as a person, how would you like to be remembered? Does it base it on the transformation of the club? Because I, as a romantic, I will forever be grateful to Mikel Arteta for that. Forever. I think it's beautiful that he did that he transformed, he gave us belief, and we had Emile Smith-Rowe, and we had Saka, and we had this and that. I love it. Forever grateful. If I see him on the street, I would give him a hug. And overall, I have nothing but gratitude towards him. Now, as a manager, on the day today, I have a slightly different and skewed view. So I'm very curious to know
that's a great question to ask someone who's in the throes or maybe in the twilight of trying to create the legacy.
Because my question is not about, it's not contingent upon winning a trophy or not. That's sort of the value that we assign, or the symbolism of it all. I'm just curious to know. And I'm curious to know what you guys, how would you, if he were to win the treble or whatever, quadruple, aside from that, winning the quadruple, how would you like to remember him, or how would you remember?
Well, I'll tell you something. I had this handy. In order for it to truly be a revolution, all right, you got to win something. Revolutions end in someone winning a victory, right? There's evolution, and Arsenal have been in the evolution era for 6 years.
Yeah, and I'm not trying
process.
to
hold on one second.
anything.
Hold on one second.
Sorry.
Process has went to progress, and now we expect success. But there's no revolution until we win. It would be an evolution. The revolution comes when you add the silverware to it. James.
Yeah, no, look, for me, I totally agree again, and well said, as everybody else throughout the show. I think it's been brilliant, especially when you've been kicked in the balls like that today. But I don't want to diminish any trophy or any cup, like some people have said, like what Albert said earlier. But he's got to win one of them two majors, Sophie. And FA, for me, even an FA Cup now, in this stage of what we've done, that to me, we haven't gone through all of this to just come out with the same thing that we did before. He needs to win one of them two major honours. And like you said there, where you've actually admitted the bottling narrative for the first time, and you've hated yourself for having to do it, to get to lose the league from where we are now in this position, what else can you say other than bottling? Because that's what it would be. From the position we're in, from now, to lose that league, that is a bottle job. That is there's no other word for it.
There is no other word for it, and I'm sorry, guys. Some may not want to hear that, but it is the truth. I was hoping that we'd be able to celebrate today with our squaddies, our OGs, our new subscribers. We're literally crawling to 20K. We're like a smidgen away from it, a smidgen. And please listen to our Chief Like Officer, Tammy Steels, to spread the word about Highbury Squad. Here's the other thing too. We're going to think about this game. It's not going to leave us. And there's a lot of you asking, is this worse than Baku? I think yes, for me, because at that time, Chelsea were the superior team. I felt anyway. We didn't show up there either, did we, in Baku? Everyone remembers how Ozil came off the pitch. I don't want this to be like an institutional issue either, you know? You know what I hate about what happened today too? They took the sting out of us being able to come on here and take the piss out of Spurs a little bit too. Can't do that today, right? When we played the way we did and we did what we did. Honestly, the players, I wonder, I don't want to hear about another meeting. What happened in your other meeting? Did someone forget to write the minutes to the meeting so you could remember what you had to do? Don't have any more meetings, all right? Don't do any more interviews. I'm not going to repeat myself. Just shut up. Go on your international break. We'll be here picking up the bloody pieces. We'll be here picking up your mess. We'll be here on the front lines fighting everyone who are calling you losers and bottlers. We, the fans, remember the show I did not too long ago, Big Ben? I said they lease the shirt from us. We own the shirt. They lease the shirt. Mikel, Declan, all of them. And let me say something here. Real truth talk right now. I love Declan Rice. I adore him. He's brilliant. I love his character. I love his swagger. I love his vibe. I love everything about him. But you ain't Mr. Arsenal yet, mate. You are not Mr. Arsenal yet. Okay, Saka's come through Hayland. He's earned his Arsenal crust. He saved us in a time when we were dark. I understand you want more from Saka. Saka put this team on his back for years. We bought players and spent more money to have Saka have help. But you've got a manager that's not willing to do that. And I'm sure Saka at some point would be like, you know what? Take me out. So here we are. You're not Mr. Arsenal. You lease the shirt from us. We own it. And that's that. Earn it. Earn the right to be Mr. Arsenal. Earn the right, you lot. All of them. Earn the right. They didn't earn the right.
I agree with Andrew J54's comment in the chat there, Sophie, as well. Because you know for a fact that they probably had stuff on hold, ready to be released tomorrow after a cup win.
Oh,
no.
100%.
Keep that in store for another couple of weeks, please, because
that happens in all sports, right? You've got the t-shirts and the hats ready to go, and you know,
we don't need to be fleeced any more than we have done. We've spent enough money, so save that for a more appropriate time.
And don't come out with the highlights video.
No.
Don't do any of that. Don't do bench cam. There's nothing. Just go home. Take a break. Okay. I don't know what else there is to share at this point. All I'm going to do is give the boys their exit comments. And James, seeing as you're on a roll, we'll start off with you. We'll swing it to Damien and we will end with Albert JTV. To all of you who have been in live chat tonight from across this great universe of our Arsenal community, I can't begin to tell you how much I appreciate. It's not easy. It's not easy to do the show today. We wanted it to be different, but it's not. So James.
Yeah, you know, look, I'm not going to say any more about the game. I think I've said all that I need to say. But in terms of everybody that's come in here, thank you very much as always. Thank you very much for everybody from here that's come along to me and my channel. We had a very good stream yesterday, and a few new people popped in from here and everything. So yeah, thank you very, very much. Much appreciated, much loved. Keep your heads up. Ignore the noise because it's going to be bloody loud. And we'll be here all week. You will be here all week, Sophie. And roll on Southampton. That's all I'm going to say. I don't care about these internationals. I will be ignoring all these internationals and just waiting for the updates on whether our players will be healthy or not. Eze apparently is going in for another scan, and that could be a 6 to 8 week injury potentially for him. So that has pissed me off even more as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh boy. Let's hope.
Thanks everybody. Thanks everybody for being here, and I'm glad we could all share this together. You know.
Indeed. Make sure you subscribe to Purely Arsenal podcast. Follow James at LLCallJames91. Damien Arriaga, who is not on X anymore. He is on Instagram. You can find him at Damien Arriaga. For those listening on audio, it's DEMIAN. Arriaga, ARRIAGA. He also has a great blog that he writes on the women's team as well. Damien, what is your closing for the squaddies this evening?
So, in the spirit of being optimistic and positive, you know, my mom always says, sometimes you lose, sometimes you learn. So, if this heartbreak, and I'm somewhat teetering close to that tweet that Albert sent, if we don't learn from this, come April when we play City, or whenever it is we play City, and they do it again and they beat us, and it's squeaky bum time at the end of the season, we would have deserved to lose it. So we need to learn from this, whether it's tactically, emotionally, footballistically, as fans, Arteta, Saka, PR. I don't want to see any tifo BS. I don't. Just get the job done like Leicester goddamn City did. Okay? So, yes, be optimistic. I will always be optimistic as much as I can, but we need to learn. I want to see aggression. I want to see proactivity. And to borrow one little thing that James said with the internationals, what's the next actionable step is to not get injuries during these internationals. So that's the only thing I'm thinking about, is keeping everybody as healthy as humanly possible, and then we'll figure out, we'll cross the other bridges when we get to them. But overall, we have to be optimistic.
Well said, Demian. One more quote from Mikel Arteta before we swing it to Albert. Today's a disappointment. Football is like that. And then we have to work and improve and use that fire that we have in the belly right now to have 2 amazing months at the end of the season. Albert.
Well, firstly, I'm going to continue to, Sophie, as you know, and James, I do like watching the Championship, which I enjoyed. I get more enjoyment watching the football in that league. But listen, we'll have to take this defeat. It's done now. We've had to wait a long time to reach a final, and we haven't delivered. So we have to move on. We've got an international break. I always say to people, I actually enjoy international breaks because you can take a break for your respective club. If you don't want to watch international football, it's fine. But yeah, take a break. Do something other than probably watch football, I'd say, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And
Bang
reset.
on.
And like I said, I'll continue to watch some other football that I might get a bit more enjoyment out of watching. And there's a big game in the Championship coming on the 2nd of April. Middlesbrough versus Millwall, a very good game, Good Friday. And so yeah, we go again, man. Listen, it's disappointing, of course it is, and have I calmed down? Absolutely not. But it's done now, so what can you say? But
yeah.
I will enjoy myself on Tuesday, Sophie, to support the Arsenal women in the first leg of the quarterfinal against Chelsea. I'll be there, and yeah, go and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, people, if you can.
And Albert, please make sure that you guys follow Albert AUMOH57 on Instagram and X, and subscribe to Albert's channel at AlbertJTV. And of course, Dimitri is Vitamin Dims on YouTube and other social platforms as well. Make sure you follow Albert's channel, James's channel. Make sure you follow Demian. Read some stuff up on his blog for our women as well. And I know you guys are probably going to want to talk about this even more tomorrow on Monday Madness. Jesus. Let me just say that I do have a guest booked for tomorrow. And that guest is Susie Rack from The Guardian. And the goal was to start looking ahead to our women and our Champions League match against Chelsea, which is massive, massive, massive game this week. And Susie also, of course, covers a lot of different stuff for The Guardian. And we'll talk to her as well about the Carabao Cup Final. We'll talk to her a little bit about everything. You're all welcome to join me, squaddies, tomorrow. I think it's 7:30. I'll put it up in the community page. And there will be a post-mortem on this. We're going to dive into it all week. What else is there to talk about? This right now. Forget anything else that's coming. Because if we can't get past this, you want to beat Bayern Munich in the Champions League? Get past Sporting Lisbon first, yeah? You want to win the league? Yep. Get past Manchester City when you've got to go to the Etihad. Don't drop points against Bournemouth. There's so much yet. But right now, you can't even look ahead to that when you failed doing this. And that's the tough part. It really is. I feel like we failed today. It wasn't like, man, we were so unlucky. If we'd have been unlucky, I would have been, okay, you know what? We played our hearts out. They played like warriors. I felt like I was in a movie watching these guys lay down their hearts for the club, for their teammates. We didn't even do that. We didn't even sweat. So I would have come into this post-game show much differently. I would have defended them. You know, football is difficult sometimes. You lose by the fine margins. But today, there were no margins. There was nothing. So thank you again for showing up for us. I hate to leave a few hundred of you in live chat. We've been talking for 1 hour and 40 minutes. And the longer you talk, the more you realize what happened today and the more disappointed you feel. So as Albert said, try and go and do something that doesn't involve football. I'm going to go hang out with Tony, Vinny and Vespa. Take a walk on the beach, I think. Still early enough for me to try and do something with the rest of my day. I'll put all of this up on the audio platforms so you guys can share it with your mates and stuff like that. Thank you so much for being with us throughout the Carabao Cup season. This show really believed we were going to do this. We really believed that we were going to win. And we felt like it was the vehicle to the rest of the season. And Sir Antonius, I hear you. And I hear the people like, you know, there'll be plenty more. We don't know this. You can't say there'll be plenty more finals this season. I'm not sure about that. Magic Mike is in the pool. I won't read the rest of the message out, but let's just say Magic Mike is in the pool. Albert is going to watch Keely Hodgkinson. Love you guys so much. Thank you for making us. Yep. Thank you for making us part of your day. You know what's really crazy? I've got to now go cover the LA Galaxy game.
Oh, Jesus.
And then I've got to do TalkSport. And then I've got to work on putting the audio version of this show out to everyone, which means writing descriptions on the audio platforms, doing the thumbnail. I wish I could delegate that to somebody else this evening. But you've got to deal with your shit. Arsenal players, you've got to deal with your shit too. You still got to grind. You still got to hustle. You still got to work. Even if something didn't go your way and it didn't work out for you, you've still got to stand up. As I said, this is why I keep saying, we, the fans, are here to pick up the pieces. We got to keep going. And we will keep going. So I appreciate each and every one of you saying chin up and stuff like that. I get it. But for tonight, if you want to be pissed off, be pissed off. You can pick up the pieces tomorrow. Be who you want to be. Don't let anyone tell you what kind of Arsenal fan you should be. I'll see you tomorrow night. And until then, tell your loved ones you love them. I knew I shouldn't have invited Kyle Campbell on this show the other day. At ease, squaddies.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
There are people offering help. I'll take it.